Good afternoon. I'm Kelly.
And I'm Donathan.
And we are Craving Cinematics. Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye! To all those out there in...
YouTube land.
YouTube land. There we go. Thank you. YouTube land. We have finally watched the movie Sultan with Salman Khan.
Yep.
And... anyway, he's a cutie. Well, let's just jump right into it. Tell me what you thought about the movie, Donathan.
I love the movie.
Why'd you love the movie?
Okay, I'll tell you.
Okay, we're waiting.
Well, it starts out with him being around 30 years old. He's not quite grown up yet because his big claim to fame is going and catching kites that have broken loose. He would race guys much younger than him. And so his dad was telling, son, you need to grow up. You're getting to that age. You need to be married, have a family, settle down, that kind of thing.
I've met a few of those.
And yeah.
Not saying you're one of them. Thank goodness.
But anyway, he tried starting his own business, satellite TV business. And most of his customers are wanting fashion TV. That's the big claim to fame for his business.
Nothing wrong with that. I could probably use it today in my warm, comfy sweater because it's cold.
Yeah,
anyway,
it is.
They don't want to know the weather report. They want to know what we thought of Sultan.
Well, again, the character development in this movie is really outstanding because he starts off like this and he hasn't any intention of growing up at all. It doesn't appear to be until he sees Aarfa, which...
Insert the hearts flying around.
And that changes everything for him.
And stars.
And I think the main reason he was attracted to her so much is because she's so tough.
She totally blew him off.
Oh, yeah, totally. And
told him pretty much he was a loser.
Yeah. And to the point to where they finally became friends when he went to her father's wrestling club. Now, the thing about Aarfa, her and her dad are big into wrestling. As a matter of fact, she was state champion. And, of course, Sultan had no clue about all of this. He's just trying to impress her. So he goes and tries to join her dad's club, wants to learn how to wrestle. And, of course, he fails miserably. But, they become fast friends until the point to where he goes to meet up with his friends with her on his arm. And he had told his friends that she was his girlfriend.
Oops.
Big no-no. And she lays down a barrage of insults.
She lays down a smackdown on him.
Yeah, tears his ego apart, and he needed that. And I thought that was really good because what he did after that, he went to her dad, said, I want to fight in the state championship. And he goes, you've been here for, a month? And you don't know hardly anything. And it's how it turned. Sultan realized it's not about fighting to get her attention. It's not about fighting, for the sake of fighting. It's about him and his respect. So he challenged her dad. Said, "Look, I'll fight three of your best fighters, and if I win, you fill out the forms." And he says, "Okay, you're an idiot, basically." He says, "We think you're crazy. Go ahead and try it." And of course, he gets defeated.
Butt beat.
Yeah,
bad.
all 3 times. And everybody's just kind of laughing at him. He goes in, and they said, "Well, I told you were going to get beat." But he looked up and he says, "Now I know what my stature is. Now I know what my place is."
Which I took to mean as his beginning.
Yes.
For his beginning.
He was looking for his limitations. And he took off, and it starts out with him learning how to wrestle and exercising and all of this. It's very reminiscent of Rocky.
Yeah.
The whole montage.
There were several Rocky scenes in it. but it was cool. It was good.
So from that point forward, again, this movie is like a 3-part movie. You see him as young, you see him go through with, and him and Aarfa end up getting married to a point to where it comes to the finale of the movie. And it's each act could stand on its own as its own movie.
Yeah. Okay.
It was really, really interesting that way. Salman does some of his best work in this movie. Every pain that he felt, I felt. And, this movie to me is just outstanding.
Well, how did it feel to get kicked in the ribs? Did it hurt?
Oh, God. I felt every one of those blows. And just to see his side turning blue like that, yeah. I was like, oh, I'm about to bend over double. But I think the one that got me the most, though, wasn't actual physical, is when he went into the hospital to see Aarfa after their baby boy was born. The look on his face after that, it just ripped my heart out. And I couldn't imagine going through something like that. So, yeah, this movie I feel is fantastic. What about you?
Well, I was surprised. It was not what I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting, to be honest. I can't put a finger on it, except that maybe with the name Sultan, I was thinking of maybe a king and fighting in the desert. I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting. I was not expecting a wrestling movie, and I really did not realize how big of a sport wrestling is in India.
Oh, yeah.
Until, we watched Dangle and saw, a lot of the wrestling, but yeah. it was focused on women at that time for that movie. But boy, y'all are really big into the wrestling world, which is cool, which is really cool. So I was not expecting it, especially with Salman being kind of the body shape that he is. And boy, let me tell you, I don't know what he took to buff up. I don't know how much he had to work out to buff up. And then when he kind of quit wrestling and he got fatter.
Yeah.
The body imaging there that he did to his body to work out, then to get fat, and then to work out again. Holy cow! That was amazing. Yeah. That was, we were both going. He quits wrestling after he finds out that his child has died. Okay, and he just lets himself go. And we were both going, is that CGI on him? Is that, a bodysuit on it? And then he took off his shirt, and oh my goodness. No. That was him. That was all him. That
was one scene that I broke down and cried. And it's when he's standing there and his shirt's off and he looks at himself in the mirror and he just breaks down and just starts crying. I cried with him because I know that feeling.
Yeah, we kind of both know what that feels like now.
Well, see, I'm kind of like the way he was looking in the mirror now. That's my body type. Back in my early 30s, I had that kind of body that he had. I mean, I lifted weights, I worked out every day, and I just had that body as the best I ever felt. And, yep. The thing is that I look myself in the mirror now, I know exactly how he felt. And when he broke down and cried,
you felt it.
I felt that. Yeah. I really did.
Well, it's never fun to get old.
No.
The only good thing about getting old is wisdom. We don't always get that. But anyway, I was just very, very impressed with the way he manipulated his body, and I can't even imagine. I'd love to sit down with him and talk to him. And Amir, because Amir did the same thing in Dangle.
Yeah.
Amazing body transformation. The eating part would be fun to get fat. But
is
boy,
taking
trying
it
to
off.
get it all off again. Ooh.
So both Salman and Amir pulled this off
Beautifully. I thought the story was beautiful. You'd asked me what I thought. The story was a beautiful story.
Yes, it was.
It was full. It was a full story. The directing was very good in this. Again, another longer movie, but this one really didn't seem that long.
Yeah.
I mean, but it is. But
it flew by.
It was so well made, and you know, a movie is well made when you can sit there for 2.5, 3 hours, and be riveted and go, no, I don't want it to end. And that's how I felt with this one. I liked the way it ended. That he did finally have a child, a little girl, and they became a family. That, you know, Aarfa forgave him for being away when she had the baby, and the baby dying. They did finally forgive each other.
Yeah.
And that was beautiful.
And her
that
going
was
back to the Olympics.
Yes, and her going to the Olympics. Boy, I tell you what, the love story, suspenseful, funny,
Yep.
action-packed. The ring scenes there at the end, at the pro, you know.
Yeah, that.
Boy, holy cow! I don't know, you know. And there's people that really do this stuff.
I know.
And
the ultimate fighting.
The
stuff,
ultimate.
yeah.
I just can't imagine what your body goes through. And
I tell you one thing. This one movie is the first movie to ever really have me thinking this way. Is when he went in for that final fight. I didn't know if he's going to make it out alive or not.
Yes, and both two storylines would have worked with this.
Yeah.
The storyline that they went with, where he lived, coming out of the ring, he won, and lived and had a family. But there could have been another storyline, another ending for that would have worked just as well. He could have gone into that last fight and actually died. And then we could have seen the regret or remorse or whatever, you know, of his friends, and of course Aarfa. So both going into that fight, you did not know.
No. And
who was going to, you know, if he was going to live or die.
Exactly. And I love that kind of stuff. Keeps me on my toes. And I was on the edge of my seat. And I said, I don't want him going in that ring.
I know. We were like, no, don't go in the ring, Salman or Sultan. But yes, I like when I cannot figure out a movie. Cannot figure out how the movie is going to end.
Yeah. So what kind of rating do you give it?
Oh, I give it a 10. Yeah.
Give it a 10?
I do, because it had love, it had comedy, it had action, it was suspenseful. The writing was good. It had nice cinematography. You know, I'm big on it. And Sultan delivered.
Yeah.
So it had everything that I look for. Good directing, good costumes were great. I just thought everything was beautiful in it.
I agree. It's a 10 from me too.
All right, 10.
I love that movie, especially not knowing what that ending was.
Yeah.
Also, the scenes where him looking at himself in the mirror and crying, and the look on his face when he goes to the hospital to see Aarfa and his son.
That tore me up. Ooh.
So yeah, kudos to Salman, kudos to the director and everyone who had anything to do with this film. Fantastic film. We both loved it.
Yeah, we really did. We really did. So thank you very much for suggesting Sultan to us. We're going to throw it right back at you. We suggest you watch the movie Sultan with Salman Khan. Thank you very much for watching today. I'm Kelly.
And I'm Donathan.
And we are Craving Cinematics.